Hey, it's Thomas Mulready from CoolCleveland.com, and we're here today at Fit Technologies, and we're here with Fred Franks, the Director of Managed IT Services. Thanks for taking time to talk with us, Fred.
You're welcome.
Now, you are the Director of Managed IT Services, okay?
Yes.
So explain exactly what Managed IT Services is, if you would.
Sure. Well, at its core, it's basically IT outsourcing, and that could be at various levels of outsourcing. But it's mostly focused on desktops, networks, and servers. So there's a lot that goes in between all those different categories.
So we know this basically is outsourcing, and you guys can handle, I would imagine, a wide range of service with your different clients. I mean, you have small clients that use this, you have large clients.
Yes.
Is it mainly for the larger ones that can afford it, or do some of the smaller ones also get involved?
Well, it's really custom built, really based on what the customer needs are. So a smaller customer says, I can't really afford to have a full-time employee on site all the time, so they have one solution, versus a customer who has maybe 30 employees and they want something completely different.
Right.
So it's really going to be geared towards what their needs are.
So you've got people with maybe one IT person on staff?
Sure.
Or maybe none?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Absolutely. Some of them require we can put people on site. We maybe have 1 to a dozen people on site. Others we can do a lot remotely, and that saves customers money, and we're able to use cost savings that way.
Right. So you have basically two different modes. When people think of getting IT service, they're thinking fix it when it's broke, give you a call. But you also have basic maintenance sort of in monitoring level. Is that correct?
That's correct. So for a lot of customers, they say, we just want to know what's going on because we don't want to be reactive. And so we do a lot of basic maintenance of monitoring, keeping security patches up to date, doing all those types of activities that it doesn't require a full-time person to do. In addition to that, we can come on site when something breaks. If they have something that comes about that's an emergency, we can have some kind of response time that way.
Right.
Other customers, it's a full-time engagement, so it's really depending on those varying levels.
So when you say varying levels, you have a service level agreement that's kind of common in the industry, an SLA?
Yes, absolutely, and that, as they call them, SLAs, a lot of our customers will have those based on what their requirements or needs are. Some of them will be a lot more stringent. They need to be up all the time, and whether it's midnight or it's 8 o'clock in the afternoon or 8 o'clock in the morning, it doesn't really matter. So it really depends on what the customer wants, but yes, we follow those SLAs for them.
Right. What kind of sort of guarantees and service does Fit Technologies offer for their clients? I mean, do people get like a single point of contact, or what's the big advantage of working in this way?
Right, so you have a whole team that works for you, and you have a lot of different individuals that are going to specialize in different categories, but you'll have that single contact number that you call, and they'll be able to bring in the right resource. So it's one number to call, tickets opened up, service calls made, and the right resources brought to you.
Right. You've got also the opportunity to do sort of notifications and email alerts. Do you do this if things are going okay, or when things go wrong, or how does that work?
Right, so as a part of the basic maintenance and monitoring package, customers have visibility into their own equipment. How much of the CPU is being used, memory utilization, historical reporting based on their equipment. In addition to that, we can set up email alerts, pages to your phone, however you want that communication sent to you.
Right.
So you're also kind of tied into what's going on in your own organization.
Yeah, which is really pretty valuable, because a lot of people, I think, they just know that it's working, it hasn't broken, and everything's okay, but a lot of times it's not okay. If your CPU usage is too high or something, I mean, what are some of the warning signs that you can get where you're monitoring and you're seeing some potential problems start to develop?
Well, definitely if you're looking at memory and CPU utilization, if those are getting too high, you may not realize why things are running slow, but that is definitely a huge indicator of why things might be running slow. So performance from your network, performance from your servers, and things like that. You can also get into as far as monitoring the temperature of the server. So are they overheating at certain points in time? So it's really a proactive type of an approach rather than being reactive.
You guys are also, now this includes not only data but also voice, because a lot of people's phone systems are being handled as an IT department.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Now that phones are basically an IT application running over IP, we're able to manage those as well, whether it's the actual endpoint device, the phones, or the application that's running on the phone, all the way back to the actual circuit where the phone calls are going out to the public network.
Now, what do you guys do when you go in and you meet with a client, you're talking about managed IT service? What's one of the first things that you start to engage with them on?
Well, we want to look at everything that they have. So what is it they're operating on today, and also meet with them on their business goals. What are some of the business objectives, and figure out what technologies are going to best fit those objectives. Because you don't have to buy a Ferrari for a UPS company. You want to focus on what exactly it is they want to get to and how they're going to get there.
Right. And I imagine you've got some growth issues too, like where are you guys going in the next few years? Do you need to plan for growth? I think that's where a lot of technology kind of breaks down, is when all of a sudden you start getting the hits and you start adding employees. How do you plan for something like that?
Well, that's the thing, is you want to look at it 2, 3, or even 5 years out and see where do we want to be. What is our company going to look like? Are we going to be doing business the same way? Possibly not. And those are the types of things where you're going to look at the different technologies that are going to emerge and help them do their business better.
Well, it sounds like you guys have had a lot of experience here. You've had a lot of growth with Fit Technologies.
Yes.
So congratulations on that. And it's great talking with you about managed IT services.
Great.
Thanks so much, Fred.
Thank you.
Hey, it's Thomas Mulready from CoolCleveland.com. Have a great week in Cool Cleveland.